I'm Nicole.
And I'm Ken.
And today we're doing the book of Jeremiah. So I guess I'll start off with the history part.
Bring it.
Okay. So something we should remember about the prophets is that we're really rehashing a certain time period over again. Most of the prophets are prophesying during the 8th to 4th centuries BCE. So during kind of the rise and fall and exiles of Judah and Israel, of the split kingdoms. And that's very true with Jeremiah. And what's so interesting about Jeremiah, I've noticed that I say "so interesting" is like my catchphrase for these. I'm like,
so interesting.
No, it's so interesting. Okay, so one of the things that you should know about Jeremiah is that he is prophesying during kind of a cross sections of history point in time.
Yes.
Where he is not only addressing Judah, but is also concerned with the empires that are around him. You have the rise of the Assyrian Empire, and then after they fall, you have a power play between the Egyptians and the Babylonians. And this would be a very helpful time to have a map to show that Judah, okay, if this is Babylon and Assyria, and this is Egypt, this is Judah. Okay, you can put
Judah's looking good.
Map down. That Judah, and you can think of it now, where Israel is right between where Iran and Iraq, Babylon and Assyrian empires, and Egypt is. And so it is a hotly disputed over territory. I think of it like the Alsace-Lorraine between Germany and France, where it's this swath of land that keeps going back and forth.
Maybe a swath.
Yeah, it's a swath.
Okay.
That's the right word.
No, I just wondered if it composed a full swath or if it was just a titch of land. Keep going.
It is a swath. If it has a king, it is a swath.
It is a swath. Fair enough.
Okay. And so people are always jockeying for position and using Judah as kind of a vassal or a satellite state.
A pawn, if you will.
A pawn, and we will, or they will. And so you see different kings have different alliances, and to really understand Jeremiah, you need to understand kind of the mess of the geopolitics, politics that are going on during this time period. We should also, and I kind of mentioned this, but this is just another view of what was happening, or of the same events that occurred in 1st and 2nd Chronicles. So we're getting a different look, a different vantage point of the same period.
As the southern kingdom is falling and going into exile.
Right.
Jeremiah sees it all happening.
Right, because Chronicles, 1st, 2nd, deals with the southern kingdom ending up going into exile. It's the exact same time period. But where that's more from a priestly point of view, this is from the prophetic point of view. Yeah, and that's going to be the same situation with a couple of our prophets.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that was going on in Isaiah. Ezekiel's going to be
in the exile.
So that'd be like the same time as Esther.
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
To see how it's the same time period, different viewpoint.
From a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Vantage Point, that movie.
I loved that movie.
It was good.
I
wanted more, but
I did too. But I thought it was cool.
Yeah, like Usual Suspects. It wasn't quite as cool as Usual Suspects.
No, it wasn't.
That's cool. All right, okay. Jeremiah, our man in Havana. Great themes in Jeremiah. The main being, he's known as the Weeping Prophet. Did you ever have Jim Kay or?
Oh, I heard stories.
He cried in every class. Saints.
He was a professor at Princeton. And one of our professors.
We call him the Weeping Prophet
because he just gets so moved.
He does, yeah.
That he is literally moved to tears.
Yeah.
Every other class.
And that's Jeremiah. He's tasked with trying to keep, trying to tell Jerusalem what they need to do to be okay, and they won't do it. And it tears him up inside.
Mhm.
And in Jeremiah, we see this incredible individual who wrestles not just against the people, but who wrestles even against God. So as Nicola was talking with me earlier, it kind of goes back to Job. In Jeremiah 12, we don't look at, but he's actually doing the same thing Job is saying. God, why do the wicked prosper? They're doing fine, and I don't. This feels like you're breaking the bargain with me. So he's at the edge of what you're kind of allowed to say and do religiously.
I think he crosses it.
And he crosses it.
But
it's because of his faith,
right.
not the lack of it. So there's this lament theme throughout Jeremiah you need to know. There is also, and I think consistent with his personality, I think we almost see the birth of kind of individual faith in Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Before Jeremiah, the belief was the sins of the fathers are visited upon the children. If the parent eats sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge is one of the quotes that you get. And in Jeremiah, and I think partly because we see the cataclysm of the destruction of Jerusalem, and there's this sense that the people around him are saying, well, it's our sins, it's because of our sins that Jerusalem's being destroyed and we're being put to the torch. And I think Jeremiah has this sense that this is too big for this to be simply just that. And he says, no, this sort of birth of the individual comes out where the people are so broken by the temple being destroyed and whatnot that what he's kind of saying is from this point forward, it's not just going to be us as a collective anymore, but every individual is going to have a covenant with God, and there's going to be an internality, an inner sense of that covenant. As he says, the law will be written on our hearts, inside us, and so it won't just be this sort of sense of the collective or the group, but there's almost the birth of the individual.
Right.
The Ra, which is it's not quite the same thing as saying individualism. We're not there.
But and I think you get that a lot with the prophets of individual responsibility.
Yes.
Especially in your ethical actions.
Yeah.
That's not just about what the king's doing or what you guys are doing as a collective whole, but it does really matter what you individually